Welcome to Kickin It With KeKe, Life, Love, and Mindset, the podcast where mindset sets movement, healing meets action, and conversations create transformation. I'm your host, Kiki Chanel, award-winning author, lifestyle blogger, and owner of 19 Lifestyle Magazine. We talk about life, love, healing, growth, and mindset shifts that help you become the best version of yourself. So pull up a seat. We're kicking it. Today I have a very special guest. She's a recurring guest. So it's always fun to have people who want to come back and kick it with me. Y'all, I still like to let my guests tell them people who they are and what they do. So she knows what to do. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to her and let her tell you what she do and who she is. Thank you for coming to kicking it with me again. So tell the people who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Dr. Enola Pillard. I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana. I am a hairstylist, a trichologist, a life coach, an author. I wear a few hats, and I'm so excited to be back on the show. I always love to come on this show.
Well, I'm glad to have you back. Thank you for coming to kick it with me again. I'm super excited because I did a little formatting, different formatting for the podcast, just to liven things up a little bit. We're talking more about life, love, and mindset instead of all that other stuff that we used to talk about, which still entails all of those things. So we are talking about what mindset helped you survive your hardest season. So we're going to talk about the mindset moment right now.
Well, oh gosh, I tell you, it's only through prayer and meditation and, sticking to my tribe. I have a tribe. And one time I didn't have a tribe, but I do have a tribe. And grabbing hold to those that say call when you need, that's uplifting. I can honestly say where I am right here, sitting right here, is because of that.
Man, I love that. We all need our tribe. We all need people in our space that don't require us every day, but know that we are with them every day. Because my tribe, we may not talk or see each other for weeks or months at a time, but if they need me, they know I'm there, and vice versa. Because we all have lives and things happen. So we can't just sit up on the phone all day, every day. We can't text back and forth all day, every day. But it is always great to have people who pour into you as you pour into them. So, what belief did you have to unlearn to grow and change your mindset?
Well, I have to honestly say, at one season, I it was a struggle because
Hmm.
those that I thought that would support me was not supporting me, and I saw where it was taking away my strength and it was beyond my control. So I had to shift my mindset to see things completely different in order to move forward. Where instead of me getting subtracting strength, that I gain strength. So I had to get the revelation that you cannot force people to care, to have compassion, and to love like you love. But what it did for me is be more mindful, have more self awareness of how I am with others.
Hmm.
And that's what keeps me going. And especially when someone call and say, look, you helped me just on time. Guess what breakthrough I got?
Hmm.
So that's what worked for me. That the change I want to see, let it start in myself. And instead of looking at it so much from others, for me to apply that of how I interact, react, and respond to others.
Absolutely. And when it comes to life and love, how have you allowed your mindset to shift so that those things can balance and flow so that you are able to walk in your God-given purpose?
To allow love to be action,
Mm.
to take out of my vocabulary, I'm a see in one day. actually making a priority to love out loud, to allow love to be action, not counting the score of who called last or I don't want to bother her. Not even thinking that way. To just for me to do it.
Hmm.
And I tell you, I feel so free. I feel lighter. I feel happier. And it just made my love walk even more because I feel that's part of my DNA to love. That's what I grew up on. We grow up with our moms, our grandparents, just seeing how they are. The way things were then is not the way it is now.
Yeah.
But your roots, your foundation, what you know, that's who you are. And I found myself at one time, I felt that if I'm quiet, I'm to myself, I'm by myself, you can't lie to me, you can't misunderstand me, you can't judge me, you can't tell me if I'm good enough, smart enough, small enough, tall enough, bright enough, my hair a certain way. You can't judge all of that. But I realized when I was shifting and elevating in my career and just as a woman alone, that just would not work for me. So I had to shift. And I just got the revelation on how I'm working on a time clock that has no snooze button. Because when
Oh.
it's time to shift, is no, I forgot, I don't know. It wakes you up in the middle of the night.
Hmm.
You'll see a bumper sticker. You'll see a billboard sign. That word will keep chasing after you until you
Hmm.
get it, that you must embrace the shift.
Absolutely. I love that. We're not living on a snooze button. Oh my
No.
goodness. Because I don't like to hit the snooze button, but I have done it in the past. It just gives you a little bit more. I get 15 more minutes or 10 more minutes or whatever, but life doesn't stop. Life is always going. It does not stop. Although we have curveballs and speed bumps that can hold up some process, we still going along the way. So I love that revelation that you got about that, like make love action. And if more people thought that way, life would probably be so much better, and we could be farther in our relationships, in our, careers or whatever. Um, yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing that with the audience. Y'all, I know y'all heard that. If not, hit the rewind so that you can hear it again. Um, what is one mindset that people need to adopt right now?
To join the movement. Join the movement. Get out of being stuck. Get out of your comfort zone. You will not be last in your comfort zone. And I can speak from experience. And as you work on yourself, is no way things can remain the same. Your finances won't remain the same. And when you actually get in cruise control, just get on cruise control. It's so much easier because you're fitting in who you're called to be. You're able to define what's your purpose, what's the plan, and you're just on cruise control. It's not without force. See, sometimes it takes tests and trials, and it's just like an olive that as it get crushed through the crushing, it's olive oil. It's an anointing that comes forth. And when we realize that even what we do, it is not by power and it is not by might, but it's only by the Spirit of the living God. And
Mhm.
it's the anointing that destroy yokes, that uproot generational curses and uproot cycles. Where you'll find where this time last year you was in the same place. And it's
Mhm.
only you can make up your mind and say, no, no, I cannot stay in this place. And, as I mentioned, I just feel freer. I feel that things are just coming to me, instead of me working so hard trying to make things work, it just comes to me. Opportunity just come. And I feel that when we're in cruise control, we letting God take control. It's like sometimes he want to surprise us. We think even as parents, with our kids, we may hear them want something and they don't know we already have it. We already have it. Just wait until their birthday. 2 more days. And
Yeah.
I think about God saying, look, 2 more hours. If only she knew, just 2 more hours. And honestly, a book was birthed through that, and it just was published. And the name of it is One Wish.
Tell the audience about One Wish. I love that. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, One Wish. It's actually a children's book, and it's about a lady, and we could define with her. Her name is Tess. Tess was an entrepreneur. She had her own beauty salon. She worked hard in the community. She helped anybody she knew. She served in the church. And she shared with the pastor over a decade ago that her desire was for a daughter. And he sat back and watch her grow, watch her elevate, watch her pursue her dreams. But he knew it was that one void. And it was one Sunday morning, all of that changed. It was a grandmother that was taking care of a little girl that had sickle cell, and she couldn't take care of her anymore. And she asked the pastor, is there someone that he knew for sure that would love her like she loves her, that can care for her the way that she can no longer? And it was Tess. So one day, Tess' life changed, and she gained that one wish. And she was able to press fast forward with Zoe. Her name is Zoe. And when the grandmother couldn't get her nails polished and get her earrings, get her ears pierced and decorate her room, everything the grandmother couldn't do, Tess was able to press fast forward and do it for her. But then she got a crisis. And when
Mm,
she had that crisis, Tess was able to tell her how she had one wish, and that was for her. She can have a wish and she can get better. She asked her what do she want to do when she get out of the hospital, and she wanted a tea party. So that's how the book that's how it ends. But it's so many points to that book that can speak to so many women. For us it may not be a daughter, it may be something else, but for whatever it is, it's going to give hope to those that feel all hope is gone. Even to
mhm,
the little girls, there's so many young kids that have disabilities, that have illnesses, that they need to know that they can find, even with what their circumstances, they can find a norm, they can find some normalcy in their life. So that book can speak on so many different areas. And when I tell you so far, that book has been in 3 different settings. And when I tell you, I literally have maybe 2 books left.
good.
Like,
I'm so
just
happy
now.
for you. Yes. Yes, I love that. So, where can listeners purchase the book if they wanted to get a copy or support you? How can they get a copy of One Wish?
On AshanteEnterprises.com. That's my website, and they can purchase it off that site. And I'm Enola Pillard on Facebook, and I'm always keeping up to date. It's always somewhere I'm at. I'm really to up until October, I have things that's already on my schedule. So
Mhm.
wherever I show up as a vendor or as a speaker, I make sure that I have new release copies on me. So I would say to them, just watch my page, watch what's going on, because I may be in their city and
Mhm.
they can get a copy and get it signed by me.
Absolutely. I love it. All of this information will be included in the show notes with the website and her social media handles so that you can go and follow, support, and get your copy, your signed copy. She's coming to a city near you. Y'all stay on the lookout for all of that. Um, so we are moving into the reality check where growth sounds in theory like the truth behind everything that's uncomfortable becoming comfortable. So I'm going to ask you these questions, and you just the first thing that pops to mind, that's what you got to answer with, okay?
Right.
Reality check. All right. What's the uncomfortable truth people avoid when it comes to personal growth?
To get out of the way, get out of the way and look in the mirror. Look at the woman in the mirror. Look at the man in the mirror, and embrace who you really are. You see, that's why I mentioned that quiet, sheltered person that always sat to the back. That didn't fit for me anymore because I embraced being an author already. I embraced being a life coach already. I embrace being a hairstylist. So all those avenues, it involves people,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not gonna fulfill your purpose. My purpose was people, to serve people, to give a message to people. So that mean that mindset of being quiet, it just didn't work anymore. So I
Yeah.
had to pursue. And guess what? Let me tell you, from being having that reality check, I've went from speaking amongst hundreds till now I'm a TV and film hairstylist, and you just might see me on the next movie.
All right, listen. That makes me so proud because we hadn't talked in a while. And but I see you on social media. I just be smiling. I'm like, she don't never sit down. But I'm so happy for you. That is amazing. And I think that it is very important to get out of your own way. And when you know that your purpose is bigger than you to help other people fulfill their purpose, you can't sit quiet. You can't sit in the back. Because God is ushering you forward for a reason. Your gifts make room for you. You have to make sure that you're listening and hearing the voice of God because we know that the enemy can speak as well, but we serve a God that is mighty and everlasting. He will not forsake us or leave us. He is not the author of confusion. So we just have to know that it is Him who is speaking to us so that we can get our own reality check and get out of our own way.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
And some there, I can't tell you, I'm not gonna tell the listeners that it was easy.
Oh, no.
I'm not gonna tell you that it happened overnight. It was birthing pains that came through that. You hear about in the Bible about him being the potter and we are the clay and how he's shaping and molding. Do you know through that process there was things I found out by myself and I was like, no, not me,
Hmm.
me,
Hmm.
me, a people pleaser, me
Yeah.
me allow someone is you hear about a roaring lion that has no bite. I just discovered that there's someone that's in authority that I look up to. Do you know that I had literally I had to come to the reality. I looked at them as a god. Anything you see higher than God, anything you talk about a lot, you complain about a lot, no matter what, that's that thing that keeps you inferior. That was a human being that's walking around right now. And that person didn't even know they had that. But I was in fear of that. And I had to walk up to that lion. I had to walk up to that lion and realize it was just roaring, but it had no bite. And it's a process because I was so accustomed to it for so long. I have
Hmm.
to allow God to to help me to adjust because it just became a part of me. No matter
Right.
what I did, that person opinion mattered. No
Mm.
matter what I accomplished, how that person will react, that's what matters. And I had to repent. I had to honestly repent and tell God I was sorry because there's someone that's looking for a door to open. There's someone that was looking for a breakthrough. And here I was walking in my breakthrough and not even saying thank you because I was looking at man's opinion. And when I
Mm.
had to realize who had the problem, I didn't really have the problem. That individual have a problem that they can't handle the increase. They can't handle the influence that I have. They can't handle that they not doing what I'm doing. So even through all of that, I realized who had the problem when it seemed like I had the problem. But I don't have the problem no more. So I know it's a lot that I said, but I feel that it's somebody that needed to hear that today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I like about adding this new segment called the reality check. It allows you as the guest to be real with the people and pour into them in a way that they can understand because it's relatable. So thank you for sharing that with us and being vulnerable. I appreciate it so much. Um, with this question, I love this question about I've only asked three other guests because it is new and it's coming up on the next part of the podcast when the new season drops. What habits are quietly keeping people stuck?
Oh, as I mentioned, people pleasing, not dealing with the root. For myself, I speak about myself. When it was time for me to deal with these issues, I swept it under the rug.
Mm.
I tucked it in, I tucked it away. I found something else to replace it because I felt I couldn't handle the pain. But the pain just kept coming up at opportune time. So I had to deal with that pain. I had to deal with it. And guess what? Today, all I can think of taking one day at a time. Today I'm smiling. Today
Mm-hmm.
I feel free. Today I feel vibrant. I feel productive. I feel like I'm not busy. You know, there's times we can be busy and not doing anything,
Uh-huh.
So yeah, yeah. I know I may keep saying the same thing, but it's the truth. It
It's the
is
truth.
really the truth.
Right. And you've experienced it, so you know that it happens. Like it's the reality. We all
Yes,
get in our own way. We all become people pleasers at one part of our lives or another, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. We all get comfortable being in the comfort zone, but there's no growth that happens there. We all have insecurities. We have imposter syndrome where we don't feel like we're good enough. But God says so. God gave you these gifts. So stop worrying about the approval of man. Do it,
yes,
do it with your whole heart, with integrity and humility and grace and self-compassion, and watch how your life change. I am a living witness to that. It because I am so glad that I stopped people pleasing, that I stopped caring about what people thought so much. And when I decided to let that go, it's like you said, it's freeing. You feel lighter. You just look at life different, and I'm not turning back for that. So last question of the reality check: what excuse do people need to stop making?
um, I'm gonna do it tomorrow or this time next year, or let me work on this first. Once
Mm,
this happens, then that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. And you know what was happening for me?
mm,
The very thing that I was called to be. Others that look up to me that I was mentoring, they was a cop in the shit. And I
mm.
had to realize, how am I known as their mentors and telling them what they can do, and I'm not doing it my own self.
Wow. Yeah, you have to look in the mirror. You
Yeah.
have your own reality check with yourself and say you know how to get it done. You helping other people do it. Why not do it for yourself?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take my own advice, and even books that I've written.
Hmm.
Taking a second to read that my own self, read my own book, read my own message. You
Right.
know, yes, yes, most definitely. I'm like, wow. I'm like,
Wow. I love it. I love that because it's a aha moment because that was just confirmation. Just what you just said, that was confirmation for me. It's like you helping you help the other people do this, so why not you?
yes,
That was confirmation about something that I needed to hear. I needed to hear that in this season for something that I'm working on or was helping somebody else work on. And it's like you've been wanting to do this all this time and you giving them the steps that you can take to get it done because they are doing it. You told
yes,
them the steps that it take.
yes.
Yeah, thank you for that. All right, God. All right, let's bring this conversation home with an action step because mindset without movement doesn't create change. What is one action someone can take today to move forward?
I would say the action step is to celebrate yourself.
Mm,
Celebrate yourself. I'm actually about to have an event, my own first event, and the name of the event is I Am the Proof.
mm,
No matter what you haven't overcame, you overcame something. You
Right.
conquered something. You
Mhm.
accomplished something.
Mhm.
You're the proof that it can happen. So that would
Mhm.
be my advice, to celebrate yourself, celebrate your victories,
Mhm.
celebrate yourself, treat yourself, pat your own self on the back. If nobody else pat you on the back, pat your own self on the back.
Mhm.
Look in the mirror and say congratulations to
Mhm.
yourself, because there's something you've accomplished. You're not where you were even last week. And if you keep listening to podcasts like this, you won't have a choice but to transform. You're gonna shock yourself and be like, what? I said what? I did what?
Right. Absolutely. I love it. And that's the overall purpose of podcasts like this, to have conversations that are relatable and necessary to change the narrative in our lives, especially in the Black community, because I do this for my people. You know, I love all people, but I do this for my people because we have been conditioned for years that we're not supposed to be who God called us to be, that we're supposed to be inferior to other people, that we're not supposed to have education, that not we're not supposed to have a family, or a career, or making money, driving certain cars, and living life the way that we are supposed to live it. That is a lie. Stop telling yourself that, and stop allowing other people to tell you that and make you feel like that. Get out of your own way. Like, that's the action step that I'll tell everybody. Get out your own way.
Yes. And get
Okay.
the t-shirt.
Right. Get out of your own way. What daily habit builds long-term transformation when it comes to mindset in life and love?
Um, I would say for me, spending time with myself, meditating, taking time to evaluate my goals, short-term goals, long-term goals, just sitting, being quiet, enjoying life. Go and sit on the porch,
Hmm.
taking a walk. Go sit in the park. Treat yourself to an ice cream. That's what I've been doing.
That
Just
sounds like a perfect day with myself. That's the perfect
yes,
day for me. Yes.
yes, yes.
I love that. And what questions should listeners ask themselves tonight? Like, anybody that's sitting with themselves out on the porch, they may be taking their walk or in the park. What question should they ask themselves today or tonight?
What are the things they didn't say thank you for?
Oh, I love that
What are the
question.
things they didn't say thank you for?
Hmm. Wow.
And what that does for me, when I sit back and I just think about my day, how I made it home safe. I had a meal. It's not till your AC go out till you appreciate air. When your
Mm-hmm.
hot water tank go out, you appreciate hot water. See, I had
Mm-hmm.
all those situations. When your car break down on the side of the road and somebody actually came to help you, you ain't sitting on those things. When you start thinking about just your day, the things that has happened, and you can say thank you. Oh, no matter what you face, and all of that fades away, because if all those things worked out, this one little tiny thing is you can be sure that it will work out also.
I love that. Thank you so much. Y'all, she is dropping gems. You hear me? Y'all better pay attention. Um, Before we close out, give us the mic drop. One sentence you want every listener to remember from this conversation.
I am the proof. I am the proof.
I have no words. I have no words. For real. Like, I am the proof. That is a mic drop moment for real. So before we close out, go ahead and tell everybody how to follow you, your website again, so we can have all of that information to list in the show notes. Go ahead and tell the listeners how to connect with Dr. Pillard.
AshanteEnterprises.com is my website. You can reach me on IG, Ashante Enterprises, TikTok, Enola Pillard, Facebook, Enola Pillard. That's all the ways that you can contact me. You can stay posted with what's new, what's in, what's going on. even to others' events. I try my best to post on my page. So that's where you can find me.
Absolutely. All right, you guys have been listening to another episode of Kicking It With KeKe, Life, Love, and Mindset. Remember that your mindset shapes your reality, but your actions create your future. Thank you for tuning in to this episode. If this conversation spoke to you, make sure that you subscribe and share with someone who needs it. And remember, your story has power, your voice has purpose, and your mindset can change everything. I'll see you next episode. Purple hugs.